Oh, there you go. So people are already on this path. So, so Jeff, you helped us kind of create the one sheet that we're going to use as kind of the compass for this whole thing. When you were going in there and playing around with it and making it work, did 15 to 20 years seem like that's something that's almost attainable for just about anybody? Or what was your sense when you looked at that?
Yeah, definitely. It is attainable, but it really starts with completing that one sheet. And the one sheet is really putting your monthly income, your monthly expenses, your assets and your liabilities all down on a piece of paper. And in this case, it's a spreadsheet. You have to start somewhere. As Samantha mentioned, a lot of people are already on this journey to financial freedom. So the idea is to determine, well, where are you on this journey? And you start by putting it all down on a piece of paper. So step three is really completing that one sheet. And once you have your financial information down, you can really see where you are on that path. And as you mentioned, you'll see, oh, am I 10 years away from where I need to be? Am I 15? Am I 20? That sheet will allow you to see, where you are, and then it helps you control where you're going to go. So I think a lot of people are going to realize that it might take longer than they would expect to become financially free, but it's going to be a lot easier for them to get there once they just see it in front of them.
So you're suggesting that, yeah, maybe it takes a little longer, but the idea is the steps involved with really doing it are probably easier than what they think.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
So here's the reason that I know that you and Samantha know this stuff like the back of your hand, because we created a little bit of the script we were going to try and use, and I've worked three questions in and I'm way off script. So you guys are you guys are doing a great job. All right, Samantha. So we're through the first three steps. What's step four in the process?
So step four is taking the action and actually following through on what you put on paper. So actually implementing the things that you outlined.
Okay. So if you were thinking about that, how would you tell somebody to kind of stay on task with this? Would you have a suggestion, which is now I have a whole financial plan that's to take me 15 years out. Well, can I wait 6 months? I filled it out. Can I wait 6 months to do something, or what do I have to do now?
I think for me personally, it would be making small term goals as well as having an accountability partner, someone that you can check in with to make sure that you're staying on track.
Okay. So an accountability partner, that's an interesting concept. So have you implemented that? Have you tried to, what's that mean? Are you showing somebody else your sheet, or what are you doing?
Yeah, it could be showing someone else your sheet. It could just be finding one person that you connect with that might be a little further along in the process or at the same point as you are, and checking in with them on a regular basis. That way you make sure you stay on track and on top of your goals.
Okay. Awesome. So that makes sense to me as well. So now kind of I have a plan. I'm actively working on the plan, and now I got to go to step five. What is step five, Jeff?
Step five is continuing to track your plan, and which really means reviewing it annually and then modifying it as needed. So for instance, as Samantha even said, after year one, where are you on your plan? You're going to update the plan. You're going to compare to, where you are versus where you expected to be. Did things come together as you expected? Did unexpected things happen? You would adjust your plan accordingly, and then moving forward, continue to track it. So every year you're really updating and tracking your plan as you move toward this financial freedom goal.
So Jeff, you're really got to update the sheet once a year. How often would you be kind of going in and looking at it and looking at your expenses and different things? Is that something you think you need to do monthly, quarterly? Like, what kind of time commitment you think this is for people?
I would personally recommend to review it quarterly. in the short term, a lot of things can happen. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. If you think about the stock market, for instance, the stock market in the short term can be way up, it can be way down, but really your goal is to look at it over time. And over time, the stock market trends upward. So that's the goal here. You know, keep your eye on at the end, but you want to check in quarterly, and then annually you want to update it with, you know, actual data. So I would say check in quarterly and update annually.
Okay. And so if you were checking in quarterly, how long do you think that takes? I mean, am I spending a half hour, a quarter on this, or you think it's more than that, or what would you think that looks like?
It depends, but yeah, I would say about a half an hour a quarter. You're just checking, all right, here's where my assets were. Where are they actually today? So, you know, whether it's logging into your accounts to review those, and just, you know, see where your balances are compared to where you were. I would say, yeah, about 30 minutes a quarter, just to check in, which isn't much time at all.
Right. So when you're talking about, you know, kind of, I talked a couple times on the calls that I've done about, you know, people's number one fear in life is public speaking, apparently, which I have no problem with, and neither do you guys since you're on this call. But my understanding is, and I told people if I'm wrong and this is 3 or 4, it doesn't matter. It's still the same point. I believe what is the second biggest fear of most people in life is that they run out of money before they die. And so we're talking about, you know, we're creating a compass for you, and we're asking you to be able to spend a half hour, a quarter on it. And you can probably get rid of your second biggest fear in most people's lives, right? Like, we're not talking about a lot here, right? It's just consistency over time and a little bit of effort, right?
Exactly. Yep.
All right. So Samantha, you are lucky to tell us what step 6 is. What is step 6?
Step 6 is to celebrate. It's important to celebrate your accomplishments. At this point, you're financially free, and you get to decide what to do with all of your affluence.
Okay, so let me just think about this, right? Like, as I want to celebrate, right? You tell me I got to wait 10 or 15 years to celebrate, or you think if I'm on track for my plan, I should have interim celebrations because I like to celebrate. So, like, can I celebrate, you know, that I put my plan together? Can I celebrate that at the end of the, what's that?
Yeah, I said interim celebrations, as long as you don't dwindle down your funds too much.
Yeah, there you go. Right, don't spend all your savings on the celebration. That's going to mess things up. So I just want to tell one story and see if this surprises you or doesn't surprise you. So I, you know, in playing around with the one sheet and trying to look at it from, wanted to look at it from a young person kind of getting started, or a young couple getting started, and then look at it from somebody that was a little older and kind of we're on different paths. But when we took a look at like a young couple getting started, and we said, all right, we got a young couple, you know, between the two of them, they make $60,000 a year combined. They got a little bit of debt, you know, $10,000 in credit card / student loan debt. They, you know, have 11 or $1,200 either rental payment or mortgage payment on a house. And you know, they got a little bit of money left over to invest, not a ton, but you know, they got a little bit of money left over to invest. Guess what we figured out? That if that person just invested their leftover savings, which we estimated was in the, you know, $9,000 to $10,000 range, guess what happened for that person over 25 years? They wanted to retire in 25 years. If you had to guess what the net worth of that person was in 25 years, if they were investing $10,000 this year and then every year thereafter, that $10,000 would go up a little bit because you would make more money and, you know, that kind of stuff. But just kind of standard appreciation rates with, you know, inflation. Where do you think that person is in 25 years?
Jeff, you're better with the numbers. I'll let you handle this one.
I would say $1 million in net worth. It's, you know, if you just look at it, $10,000 times, say, 25 years, it's $250,000. How much is that really going to grow? $1 million?
All right. So I didn't, to be fair to you, Jeff, I didn't give you 100% of the information because they already had a little bit of money in savings.
I gotcha.
So they had a little bit of money in their 401k and a little bit of money in some savings, because like we put it in there as if they had paid 6 months worth of reserves in the bank, that kind of stuff. And in doing an allocation where we assumed that the stock market would return an 8% return on their money over 10-year given periods of time, that their net worth was anywhere, depending on how they allocated the money, from 3 million to 5 million. And the difference was how much did you put in real estate versus how much you just put in the market in general. And they had almost as much money in passive income as they had in income that they were earning at the time that they retired. So the math is over time, as you know, from compounding and compounding, will get you there by exactly what you guys said. You know, be consistent, stay on top of it. And so it's an exciting journey. It's one that should be celebrated, but you know, you guys made the point that it's longer time period than you expect, but easier to accomplish. You know, that I think you guys hit it right on the head with those takeaways. So if you wanted to give any last bit of parting advice to people that are thinking of taking this journey, what would it be? And I'll let you go last, Samantha, to have the final word. So go ahead, Jeff.
I would say, you know, this is an easy process. All you have to do is just put the information, your financial information, down on a piece of paper. And once you get it down, I think your eyes are really going to open to see, you know, how much growth you could potentially have on your assets, and, you know, where you're going to be in 10, 15, 25 years down the road. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that, you know, the path to that number that you want to be at isn't that hard to get to.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Samantha, take us home.
For me personally, my advice would be to just do it. Sounds kind of corny, but when you think about it and you think about it too much, you don't actually end up accomplishing anything. So when you really sit down with a group of people that care about you and want to help you and get it down on paper, it starts to become a lot more realistic.
So take action. We're leaving with just do it. I love it. One of my favorite slogans of all time. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and thank you for being part of this. And hopefully this is helpful to people that are trying to kind of go down this path themselves. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. Bye-bye, guys.